Let's just go right to it here. Um, Most Warrior fans, I think, are aware the combination of personnel and Frank Vogel's defensive principles have really given the Warriors trouble. And most importantly, Steph, a lot of trouble over, the last season and a half or how many ever matchups they've had, right? Steph traditionally doesn't shoot very well at the Staples Center. I don't know what that is. It's the dark background that usually enables shooters. So I don't know. I think we've all noticed this thing. So it's funny how we want to point these things out to the staff and Steve Kerr, but it's like, look, man, the off-ball stuff doesn't really work against the Lakers, right? I think we all can acknowledge that. And I think it's important that Steve Kerr understands that from the jump of the game. That's not going to be a second half adjustment, right? And I think Kerr and a lot of these coaches come from the kind of old school mentality of, we're going to do what we do. We'll make them yield to what we do. We're not going to adjust to what they do. And I understand that in principle. But you got to be dynamic. Again, against this Lakers personnel, that off-ball stuff, it doesn't fly for various reasons. One, you're dealing with veteran defenders who communicate. They know their responsibilities and what the game plan is. And then two, you have this giant front line that allows their guards to be over-aggressive, shoot gaps, jump passing lanes, understanding they're always going to have a big rim protector behind them. So they can top lock Steph, take away the three ball, and still cover up and defend all those backdoor cuts and pocket passes that the Warriors use to kind of counter that style of defense. And so kind of in a nutshell, to sum it up, right? Ever since Vogel and Anthony Davis arrived in Los Angeles, the Lakers have been able to employ that style on Steph. Hey, we'll top lock him. We're going to run him off the three-point line. He can meet our 7-footers in the paint. And it's worked. It's undeniably worked. I know the Warriors have that big comeback win. There was that one win, but that was kind of an anomaly. Was it? We'll see, right? So how do the Warriors counter that? Again, I'm not telling you guys something you don't know, right? This is obvious. Back to basics. Steph, Draymond, high pick and roll. We've seen Looney up there plenty too, right? They have that play where it swings to Draymond on the weak side and then he makes the read from there, kind of just gives them different looks, different options. And what that does is it really lifts the two non-shooters above the three-point line and spaces it out for the other two waiting in the corners. But however it is, however they want to run these pick and rolls, they've got to try to make Drummond, Braun, and Anthony Davis defend above the three-point line. As far as the signature split action goes, KCP, Caruso, those boys are very good at getting through and staying attached to Steph. Again, in part because they're not overly concerned with basket cuts. They're like, that's cool, man. You could beat me back door. I'm not giving up the three. And that allows them to stay attached and aggressive over the top, fight over the screen. So what I think Steph needs to do early on in this game is play the foul game. When he's coming off that split action, stop short. Don't pump and sidestep away for airspace. Pump and jump. Get those dudes in the air, seek the contact, and get them to back their aggression off, get them to back their pursuit off by drawing a couple cheap ones early. I would hunt that. Even if it's at the cost of drawing an offensive foul or two or taking maybe an out-of-rhythm shot, hunt the fouls early to back off their pursuit on the perimeter. That's kind of the big picture strategy. I think they're going to need to slip some of these screens. Some of this screen action, the screeners have to slip for those passes because the backdoor cuts for the shooters are going to be taken away. It's got to be the screeners who slip. But ultimately, I think we know that this is going to boil down to Draymond, right? We're going to need like 15 points from him. We can't play 4-on-5 with their defense. It's just not possible. They're too good defensively. And we know what it's going to look like. It's going to be Draymond at the top with about 10 feet of open space. And he's going to have to suck up that space with the intention of scoring or getting to the line. Against this Lakers defense, plan A cannot be, oh, I'm throwing the lob to the dunker spot or I'm kicking to the corner. There will be all over that. We will see 6 first-quarter turnovers if Draymond is looking to make his typical passes out of the short roll and in the middle of the floor. The Lakers are going to be all over that. He's got to get downhill. Again, find contact. Look, I understand he's not going to be finishing over Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond. He, maybe a little push shot here and there, but just get into their bodies and see what happens, because we've seen the turnovers that, that the cliche in basketball, defense leads to offense. But that is why I think in a lot of these matchups, we've seen the Lakers just blow us off the floor. It's because you get a lot of early game turnovers that leads to getting their offense going. And so they've got to limit the turnovers, and it's mainly going to come from Draymond looking for his. I'm fine with him missing a couple shots as long as they're not live ball turnovers. That's what kills. Now, a month ago or so, I don't think any of us would be feeling too good about our chances as far as Draymond contributing offensively like we need him to. But clearly, in the last few weeks, he's flipped the switch, right? He's even knocking some three balls down. This is the type of scenario where Draymond hits like 3 or 4 threes and he is staring down the Lakers bench and beating his chest, right? That would be a very Draymond-like thing to do. So I'm not saying he's got to hit a bunch of threes. I just think that he's going to have to get himself to the line. And again, we're going to need 12, 14 points from Draymond in the paint to keep this defense honest. Also, I think it goes without saying, they've got to have a gang effort on the glass. Wiggins has been rebounding pretty well, right? Looney always in position. He's got to keep Drummond off the glass, and that's going to be an uphill battle. We know that. But listen, again, I talk about playing the foul game. Drummond will foul out if you go at him. Anthony Davis will go to the locker room if you go at him. So they need to bring the physicality. You always hear Steve Kerr talking about playing with force. They need to try to be the aggressors physically, even though they're the smaller team. Now, I think we all can agree if the Lakers were healthy and clicking on all cylinders, this wouldn't be close. But if they were that, they wouldn't find themselves in this spot, right? And I think the biggest variable in this game is LeBron. He only got, 2 games in coming back from the ankle? So my question is he going to settle for outside shots? Like, there's a world where LeBron hurts the Lakers in this game. Does he try to take over and match Steph down the stretch, shooting deep threes? Obviously, the Lakers are the favorite here. My prediction is the Lakers. The size is too much to handle on the glass. Too many second chance opportunities result in and ones, corner threes, and the Lakers roll big. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know what I'm doing. It'd be fun to pick the upset pick, and I've forewarned you guys about this, right? I'm too close to the Warriors. My heart's too involved to give you clarity when it comes to the picks as far as who's going to win. Clearly, the Lakers are the favorite, and the size is going to be a problem. I expect them to, again, get too many second chance opportunities to overcome for the Warriors.